Is this something you give your kids, even every once in a while? How about this? Puff or sip, pick your poison. The New York Times says we're doing a little bit more sipping than puffing these days, and truly, the damage to your health is just as bad. You wouldn't dream of giving your children one of these, so you might want to rethink giving them one of these. Welcome to the Keys Ingredients. We're talking soda pressing. With 17 teaspoons in 20 ounces, the average person drinks over 50 gallons of soda per year. You do the math. I did, and 43,000 teaspoons won't fit in that little cup. Drinking diet? Oh, you are not off the hook. Did you know that your body turns aspartame into formaldehyde, Splenda into chlorine? Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Add that to the standard American diet, and the average person is ingesting 153 grams of sugar per day. That is a whopping 36 teaspoons. Let's talk birthday parties and get-togethers. What do you get? Pizza, cake, soda, right? Awesome. Let's get started. We're gonna have a little get-together, Keys Ingredients style. Okay, guys, before we start rolling out the dough, I wanted to go through a few substitutions for soda. I really try to give a substitution every time I ask you to remove something. I did ask you to take soda out of your life. Now, when you're a soda drinker, the soda is giving your body something that you are craving. Sometimes it's the sugar, sometimes it's the caffeine, sometimes just the burn of the carbonated water. So I wanted to give you a few sustainable substitutes to help you kick that soda habit. First, I just want to go right to a carbonated beverage, the San Pellegrino mineral water. Hear that? That's going to satisfy that burn, okay? If you do like it sweeter, you can go ahead and add a drop of honey or a plant-based sweetener like stevia to either one of the beverages. This here is just a tea, and I used green tea, actually Tulsi green tea, which again, if you don't like it, it's not sweet enough for you, you can go ahead and add honey or stevia to that. One of the drinks that I absolutely love is a fermented tea called kombucha. You can get this in a lot of stores recently. I've seen them in grocery stores and health food stores. I make my own. However, I wanted to show you what it would look like if you wanted to buy it and try it first. Much more cost effective to make your own, and there will be information on the website about that as well. One other thing you could do, because this is a live culture, I wanted to talk to you about live cultures. Feeding your gut bacteria, which you know I think is so important. Apple cider vinegar is also great to do that with. If you squeeze some lemon and lime in your San Pellegrino and drop a cap or two of apple cider vinegar, the one that is with the mother, you will find it quite satisfying as well. So good luck kicking that soda habit. Okay, so now that we've got that soda substitution under wraps, moving right on to the pizza. What we're going to do is we're going to substitute out in rich white, and we're going to use ancient grains. We're going to use grains like spelt and camus. These are in whole berry form. We're going to put them into my absolute favorite tool, the Vitamix, which actually will grind them into a fine flour. This is both of them mixed together. All we're going to do to this flour mix is add a little bit of yeast, a little bit of pink Himalayan salt, and water. See, I only need a few ingredients. I don't need a whole bunch. Put this on here. Now, of course, you all know that the KitchenAid is one of my favorite tools as well. This dough hook is what we're going to use to mix our dough. Fasten it on there. Pop this into place. There we go. You want to make sure that you are only running your mixer on 2. Okay, so after your KitchenAid has done all the work for you, what you're going to do is just remove your dough hook and set it aside. You want to take a wet towel, hot water to wet that towel, and we're going to try and cover this all up. Keep all the moisture in. We're going to let this sit and rise for probably about 2 hours and check it, and then we're going to roll it out. So after we roll out the dough, we're going to top it with absolutely nourishing, awesome ingredients. So one of the things we can use is tomato sauce. It is not hard, guys. A little bit of basil, a little bit of garlic, and tomatoes, all in a frying pan on your stove. No biggie. The other thing is pesto, which your Vitamix comes in really handy there. Basil, garlic, olive oil, optional, nuts, and tomatoes, spinach, basil, of course. We have a vegetable medley here with peppers and asparagus and zucchini and onion, all the colors of the rainbow. We also have artichoke hearts. We have mushrooms, pepperoni, and olives. Because I love to entertain, I've invited a few of my close friends over to help us celebrate, and I've asked them to bring their children. I'm looking so forward to hearing what their favorite pizza ingredients are. By now, you are used to my top 3. I always choose 3 things to teach you about. I could go on and on and on about how horrible soda is and artificial sweeteners and sugar and fructose, but this is my finale, guys. I want to talk lifestyle. So today, my top 3 are about thinking, moving, and eating better. Number 1, thinking better. Your thoughts are so important. Your brain is 60% fat. In order to think better, you need to use healthy fat to fuel that engine. 2 of my favorite words are I am. The words that follow are your reality. Try it and see. I'm tired. You feel tired. I'm hungry. You actually feel hungry. I say, I am fantastic. I feel better already. I use Post-it notes and I use them a lot. I use them to remind others, people around me, of their strengths and their talents. My kids could not even read yet when these notes were all over their bathroom mirrors. They said things like, I am brave, I am strong, I am powerful. Those little babies are a work in progress. Number 2, move better. Purposeful movement is essential to optimal health and vitality. Exercise is obviously a great way to induce movement of the joints. There are so many types of exercise today, from A to Z, literally from aerobics to Zumba. I'm sure you can all find something that you enjoy doing. I love to run and use my own body weight as exercise. Unfortunately, though, throughout our lives, there's an accumulation of physical stress on our joints, from bad posture, repetitive movements, traumas, and injuries. Starting at birth, let's face it, sometimes those babies refuse to come out. This is not only affecting our movement, but creates stress on our nervous system. My family and I choose to get regular chiropractic adjustments to keep our joints moving well and our nervous systems healthy. I am so proud to be less than 10% of the population that seeks chiropractic to help me move and function better. I guess chiropractic would be this week's dirty little secret. Among the short list of those receiving chiropractic care are the majority of high-performance athletes. Hey, if it helps Emmett Smith and Jerry Rice, Misty May Trainer, imagine what it could do for you. Number 3, eat better. My family loves the videos that we have produced. I think the real reason is because I now have an off button. Eating better is living better. Enjoy your life. I want to quote a special man who I call Big J. He says, at the end of the day, it's all about the way you made someone else feel. Think about it. Do you build people up or do you tear people down? Food affects your mood. So if you have not already watched our other episodes on eating better, please do. It could change you, all for the good. So after your dough has risen, you will have 1 large dough ball, in which case you'd like to divide it into 4 equal parts. I always double the recipe, so I divide mine into 8 equal parts. What I do then is I roll them into small balls, wrap them in plastic wrap, and put them in a Ziploc bag. I usually freeze them, okay, and they're ready for you. Goodbye, Pillsbury. The reason this was in my oven, the oven was not on. However, the oven light was on. It's a great tip to make the dough nice and soft and really easy to roll out. The oven temperature actually gets to 75 degrees just with the light on alone in that little confined space. So I have this one ready to go, so we're going to use this one, and you want to just take your dough ball and roll it into kind of like a round disc. We have to use flour, so there was some of this reserved from earlier grinding. Dirty up our work area a little bit. And we want to actually rub the dough into that. And we want it to be dry. This is a Sicilian style crust. And it's going to be thin and it's going to be very, very crispy. So we want to just make sure that we dust it with flour. And you are going to use a rolling pin. So in my earlier days when I first got married, I wasn't a baker. I'm still not. And so I didn't have a rolling pin. So one of the things I did use was, if you don't have a rolling pin, you can use a wine bottle. It actually does the exact same thing, sometimes even better. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back and forth, making sure that if this gets, you don't want it to stick to your counter. So granite is wonderful to roll out on. You can also use wooden cutting boards. And you're going to roll back and forth on this, and then you can change it. The gentleman whose pizza I first tried this way was my father-in-law's friend, and he called it New York style thin crust pizza. Of course, he made it with enriched white, and I was on a quest to perfect this and make it not so much gluten-free, because these grains are not gluten-free. However, if you are gluten intolerant, you seem to be able to digest these a little bit more with ease than you do with wheat. So, because they're ancient and not so modified. So you just want to keep going with this until it's all rolled out and very thin. Okay guys, so I'm a visual learner, some of you are as well. I wanted to show you after you've rolled out your dough, they are very, very thin like you can see, and I've just separated them here with little plastic cutting boards. You can use parchment paper, whatever works. I'm gonna set this down. We have plenty of pizzas because we have plenty of people to feed. Take it just like this. Open my grill, which is almost to 400. Okay, and we are gonna go ahead and just slide this on. And we're gonna close the grill. And in a few minutes, there may be bubbles that form, which we will just knock down. And there may be bubbles that do not form. So either way, we're going to remove the pizza from the oven and we're going to flip it, and we are going to top the cooked side first. Just gonna open this back up so you can, tiny little bubbles are forming. Needs the heat to cook, so it needs its privacy. You probably wanna cook this for about 4 to 5 minutes. Of course, keep checking because sometimes your grill does have a hot spot here or there. You wanna make sure that it's not flaming through the dough. I have a fun party toothpick that I'm going to use just to pick the air pockets. And this is nice and crispy, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and just slip my pizza peel under there and pull it. Just because I don't want to rush when I top my pizza, and I truly believe that a great pizza will be topped all the way around, right to the ends, and I don't want to leave it on the grill so it'll burn, so I remove it. I'm going to flip it over here, and we're going to top the cooked side.
Tomatoes, asparagus, basil, pepperoni, mushrooms, artichokes, pineapple, and I guess she loves olives. They're all gone.
Okay guys, so I have a delicious hearty tomato sauce, but I want to show you all the options, okay? So we're going to do half tomato sauce on this pizza, and as you can see, I did not remove the skins from the tomatoes. I've got all my vitamins and my nutrients in that tomato sauce. I have, it's called tomato reduction on the website. I think it's included in the pizza formula as well. But you simmer that until it's a nice thick consistency. You cannot have a crisp pizza with a watery sauce. Next thing is my homemade pesto. This is one of my favorite things to eat. I could eat it out of the jar. So it's olive oil, and we're just going to, olive oil and basil, going to just, here we go. Spread that around. Now the pesto and grilled veggie pizza is probably one of my favorites, right up there beside bruschetta pizza. And I have, I didn't make that one for you guys today, but I will have that on the website as well because that is definitely an awesome appetizer. So once you have sauced your pizza pie, we're going to go ahead and top it. I'm going to go ahead and use some grilled veggies. I did these veggies exactly the same way that I did pasta primavera, which was just roasting them in your oven. All of the toppings that you put on here, you definitely want to be cooked. There are a few exceptions. I'm going to use a little bit of mushrooms on this side with the tomato sauce and a couple of pieces of pepperoni, which have been requested. The perfect pizza has a little of something in every bite. We have olives, we have artichokes. I'm going to leave this one as is, just put a little bit more veggies in here. And we want to bring our toppings almost right out to the outer crust. I'm going to use the spinach on this side, and I'm going to put it under the cheese. This spinach is raw. You don't need to cook the spinach. That will make it really watery. So that's my exception. I'm going to use cheese here to top both sides. Fresh basil and pecorino romano are definitely two that I love to add, but I always add them at the very end for a major bam factor. We're going to throw this back on the grill just enough to roast the bottom and to melt that cheese. I'm going to use a cooling rack, slip underneath, slip the pizza right on. Okay, and then I will top it with a little bit of fresh basil, my favorite, pecorino romano. We'll grab a pizza cutter and we'll grab a piece before we call everybody else out here, or there'll be none left. Well guys, it's been a blast. Please keep in touch. Be sure to subscribe to My Daily Dish on our website. If you like what you see, pin us on Pinterest, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Remember to keep reading your labels. It's the only way to take your pantry from where it is to better, one step at a time. And that, my friends, is La Bella Burrita.